And then we have Judge Larry Phillips. He's a native Texan, and of course, he was elected to the 59th District Court in November of 2018. He had been you got a special appointment before that. So, and this was to fill the unexpired term of like his predecessor. Okay, Governor Abbott appointed Judge Phillips to the position May 1st of 2018 to fill the vacancy, and then he started his new term in January after the election, the November election. The 59th Court is a general jurisdiction state court that hears felony, criminal, civil, family, and juvenile cases, and Judge Phillips then presides over the STAR Recovery Court program, which I'm sure you'll tell us about. And he serves on several judicial oversight roles, including as a member of both the bail bond and juvenile boards. The court is located here in Grayson County. Prior to him being a district judge, we all know Larry as our state representative. And he served 8 terms beginning in January 2003, and he ended in April of 2018 when he accepted the judicial appointment of Governor Abbott. He also previously served as chairman of the Red River Bounty Commission, having been appointed by both governors Rick Perry and Greg Abbott. And with that, he has his degree from Baylor, and then he attended the University of Houston Law School. And he is a former president and board member of the Federal Eastern District of Texas, the Bar Association, is the current member of the Paul Brown American Inn of Court. He has a wife who's with him tonight, and 3 children, and he's a brand new grandpa. So let's welcome Larry.
Well, it's great to be with you all tonight and say thank you for helping me get elected last time during the special election for this race. And so we had the special election, and what that was to fill the unexpired term, which was 2 years. So I've gotten to serve 2 years. Normally this position of district judge is every 4 years. And so this will be for 4 years is what this is. So every year as a state rep, we ran every 2 years. So I was used to running and appreciate all the support through the years, the encouragement, sometimes discouragement, but it was a great time being state rep, and I've enjoyed being district judge as well. In fact, when I stepped down, I was not planning to run a state rep again. Some people believe in term limits. I put my own term limit and said this has been enough. It's time for somebody else. I felt like I loved it. I had a great job, great opportunity to represent you. We did some great stuff. I enjoyed that. I didn't always enjoy going to Austin, but I've got some grandkids now and just got a new little grandson. And so my wife and I are grandparents, a 2-year-old and a little, about almost 4 weeks old. And we have some great, we have some relatives by marriage. So our grandkids, great-grandparents on the other side of the family are here too. So it's great to see them, and just, you know, it's great to be grandparents. Y'all all that are grandparents know. And so things have changed for me. It's a lot slower than going to Austin all the time, going to all the the committee meetings, although I don't know if they're meeting right now because of COVID or what. My focus is going to court, and throughout the COVID, this time where it's interesting, a lot of courthouses seem not to be working, but Judge Fallon and I, and Judge Gary, and I get up there every day, and even though we haven't had jury trials, we've been, Brett Smith, our DA, keeps indicting people, and Kelly sends us those indictments, and we work those cases, and we've got a lot of people sitting in jail Our jail, we had to work to keep the jail down. Y'all know it had a COVID experience. Sheriff Watt did a great job getting that worked out. And so we've been processing and working cases, but sometimes you have to have a jury trial to get some of them resolved. They have a right, an absolute right, and we're so glad they do have a right to have that jury trial. And so there are those that are going to do that. So we're starting to have people in jail for a length of time that we need to get processed, and either them found not guilty or found guilty. Mr. Smith wants to find guilty, the other side found not guilty. And we have to make sure that everybody gets a fair and impartial trial. And that's the biggest thing that we've done. And I've enjoyed that opportunity to go through that and to call the balls and strikes, so to speak, to make sure that we're applying the law as it's written. And as a former legislator, I appreciate that. And not interpret the law for ourselves. The law is written, we have to interpret, and we don't interpret, we have to enforce the law as written. And so you can imagine every now and then I go, did I vote for that law? I go back and look. I remember that being debated. I don't remember after all the bills that we passed through those years, 8 terms, I sometimes go back and say, okay, did I vote for that? Or I hope I didn't vote for that, you know? It's kind of interesting to go back and do that. Mr. Smith and I both kind of got the same special election, and then now for 4-year terms what we're running for. But the rest of them have been there for a while, and I so appreciate Judge Fallon and Judge Gary, and I think y'all heard that's Sheriff Gary's son who passed this last year. The 3 district judges really enjoyed and appreciate the other 2 district judges helping me acclimate to the bench, and Kelly, our district clerk, and her deputy clerks do such a good job working with us. And so we're trying to have a good administration of justice. And then the county court law judges have said we've enjoyed them. What Judge Fallon didn't tell you is not only our courtrooms are right next to each other. If you walk down the long hallway, the 15th, the 59th, the 397th. The cool thing for me is I serve in the 59th. The 397th, I passed the legislation that authorizes 397th, and that was kind of interesting to have that process. But not only did Judge Fallon and I's office, the courtrooms are next to each other. We live next to each other.
Different houses.
Different houses, yeah, next to each other. And he was so happy I got elected because I'm one house closer to the police station and the county jail when they want warrants late at night, right? So they'll stop to me first. And so that's, as he said, one of the things we do over the Labor Day weekend, Friday night at 2 o'clock in the morning, I got a call from a Grayson County deputy who had pulled somebody over, involved, but didn't pull them over, it was an accident. And then, so I had to sign a warrant at 2 in the morning, and 3 minutes later, as I'm doing that warrant, I get a call from the city of Denison, and there are ones at Wilson and Jones with the defendant, ones at TMC with the defendant, and I was in Tyler, Texas, and I did it electronically. And it's pretty amazing that you can, do that, so that the rest of the judges didn't get a wake-up call that night. The job that we do, as I said, is to make sure we have a fair administration of justice. And I have enjoyed that process. And one of the reasons I wanted to run, so let me back up. I hadn't planned on running for judge. I planned to come out of the legislature. That's where I was going a while ago, get on a rabbit trail where I would keep me on task. I wasn't going to go, I wasn't going to go back and lobby in Austin. I was going to be here with my wife and grandkids and kids and enjoy practicing law. That's what I was going to do. And the opportunity of this bench came open. I didn't know that Judge Knoll was going to retire, and Judge Knoll's kids and our kids grew up together, and I didn't know he was going to retire early. And so when that came up, I really had to think about it and say, do I want to give up my practice of law? And I did a lot of federal work, great working for great corporations, great individuals, doing all kinds of amazing legal work. And am I going to do that or run for judge? But every time I would think about running for judge, I would start smiling and say, you know, I would enjoy doing that and continue my service as a elected official in a different role. And it has been an absolute blast every morning to get up and go do that. And it's not always fun, as you can imagine. People fighting over things they shouldn't fight about in family law cases. Children being harmed, and that's what he talked about with his child protective service cases. Since the last 2 years, I dealt with, they got to deal with the criminal aspects of it. I got to deal with a case where a person, and Mr. Smith got to prosecute a case where a child was starved to death. Another one with a child was starved to death. Another one with a child was obviously beaten. I could go on to those things and to try to deal with, and they had children, I mean sisters and siblings that have to deal with. And to go through that process, it's not always fun, but to know that we can be there to be involved and try to help a solution in those situations and find a good place for those kids to live. See, that they got to hear the criminal cases in those cases. I heard the child protective service cases, just kind of the way it fell. And the coolest thing about that is that when those kids get adopted by family members or other people, and how happy they are and how well they're doing, it's an amazing opportunity. His drug court, it's amazing to put kids back with their parents who've gotten off the drugs, because it's killing us out there. The meth and everything is just killing us out there. The drugs are so rampant. And what happens to those little kids? I mean, when these kids are testing positive for methamphetamines because they're in that environment. And what do you think their success is going to be in life? And so it's great to have that opportunity for him to help those families get back together so that we don't have to support them in other situations. One of the reasons why I wanted to run is because of the Star Recovery Court, which Karen mentioned. And so it was an older recovery court. It has not only drugs, but people with alcohol problems. And to see them change. Now, they don't all work. But these are people who have come to a point where they realize that it's over for me. They're going to spend the rest of their life in prison, or they've been in and out of prison. And we're giving them opportunity, and it's hard work. And they have to interview. They go before a group, including the district attorney's office has somebody on there, law enforcement, probation, and they have to get interviewed. And we have specialists involved, and we make them, and we go through and have, I see them twice a month, and we go through those cases, and they have to report how they're doing, and we challenge them. If they mess up, they may have to spend a weekend in jail. They may have to go wash all the cars at the probation department. They may have to sweep the square around the courthouse. It just depends on what's going on with them. We also praise them when they do good. And they have to go to 3 12-step meetings a week. They have to go to an individual opportunity of counseling, a group counseling. It's pretty amazing to see them step up. And a lot of it is they don't know that they can really do it, but once they start, we keep them so busy that they can't mess up and get them through it. So it's great to have them graduate at the end of that. And what's great about it is we're not paying for them to be in prison forever. They're being restored with their kids and their families, and it does bring great hope when we can see that it doesn't work for everybody. And those that want to continue to break the laws in our community, I don't think y'all have anything to worry about in Grayson County. We have good justice in this county, and when you serve on the jury, you let us know what it is that the community wants. And those criminal trials that I have had, I tell you what, y'all don't give the low end, y'all give the high end of the punishment when you're on the jury. I haven't had any at the low end, so it's interesting to see that process. Karen, was there anything else I was going to say? Okay. All right. Not like, I think President Trump got in trouble for saying vote often or vote twice or vote something. Just make sure you go down the ballot as we asked to vote vote for those judges down below, and thank y'all very much.